I'll introduce you all to the speaker today, Dr. M. Sharda Devi, a professor and head of the Department Human Development and Family Studies. She's a very renowned psychotherapist and developmental psychologist. She has so many accolades to her name, and her biodata is unparalleled with all the credentials she's had since 1983, 33 years of experience. She has so far published 90,000 valuable contributions to the field of human development and family studies in the form of many books, manuals and many articles. She is a column writer for Varta and she has written and published 336 articles. She also extends her service as helpline counselor for TV. Her work has been recognized and she has been awarded Universal Living Legend and Global Peace Award. She is also nominated for Padma Shri for her compassionate work dedication. Ma'am has also won so many international and national awards. She has developed and created so many global level psychotherapies and secured copyrights for that. Ma'am has started a unique and first of its kind celebrity counseling and coaching center, and you all have those pamphlets. Just please go through the services that are being provided at the center. And she has also trained CEOs of Fortune 500 companies, Supreme Court lawyers, ministers of the governments, IAS and IPS officers, senior academicians, film stars and celebrities. She has highest number of citations and titles from many dignitaries around the world. Ma'am has also collaborated with Dr. Murray Chenna Reddy from Human Resource Development Institute for so many works on so many occasions. She is an accomplished and well-known, compassionate, dedicated counselor, a very renowned psychotherapist, great orator and a lovely teacher. We all are feeling very special and honored to have her here. She'll join us like in 5 minutes, so I just request you once again to put your phone on silent mode or either switch it off. And when the session has begun, we can't really open the door, so there is no going out and coming back. Thank you.
We are going to talk about something that is related to every one of us. Not only to parents, to everyone as a human being. Then we have wide spectrum of inclusion. See, when we talk about one particular person is a professional, so everybody is not a professional. So when we talk about a human being, all are included, irrespective of, this is what is going on in the world now. You know, always excluding. But we include everybody. Unconditional love. What is that? Do we understand unconditional love? I don't like you because you didn't give me that. So that is a condition. But if we work from unconditional arena, whatever the child does, whatever anybody does, we have our own love for them. Love because they are all individuals. See, don't mix what they do with what they are. We do many things, right? I mean, if you go to a chicken shop, he cuts, but it has nothing to do with his persona. That is his business. Don't combine his business to his own self. The self, all of us are same, because we are with the same genotype and phenotype, breathing the air, having this temperature, everything same for us. That's why a doctor is able to work with every single element of all the human beings. Same. Heart, superior vena cava, inferior vena cava, whatever, auricle, ventricle and all. So, why? But we are stuck up with what they do. What they do has nothing to do with what they are. What we are is totally contaminated by our perceptions about our own self. My name is Sharda. So you are caught in that word. But you are much more than what you think you are. You are an infinite self. Because these days I am studying about quantum levels of energies. Quantum is a subatomic level of understanding of an atom. Atom itself is too tiny. We can't imagine its minuteness. Okay. So, as individuals we have limitless powers, because we are caught up in one or two choices and get fed up. Most of the people complain saying we are fed up of life. I mean, these days we are fed up of this work, we are fed up of this relationship. Why? Why are you caught up in a particular limit for your own choice when there are million choices available for? Because we are caught up in only one or two things, this or that, right or wrong. We are constantly bombarded by right and wrong. Can we define what is wrong? Your wrong is my right. And similarly we treat the children. Oh, 60 marks, not good. Who told you? 40 marks, not good. Who told you? From which point of view you are saying the child got less marks? So you started comparing, no? Why that? Because of blurred vision. When we have blurred vision, then there is no clarity. We are actually limited by our own perceptions, limited by our own choices that we make, and complain on everybody else, every context, every situation, everything, every person with whom we interact. Because that is the only thing we expect. That is the only thing that we think is possible. Who told you that it is the only solution for that? Are we ready for more choices? No? You want choice or not? Okay, I will give you all Vidli all your life. Would you like that? You want choice, no? Then why do you want to pursue choice in solutions also? Why we don't entertain different thoughts about a particular event or a person? If someone appears to be bad for you, think again. Question your own understanding about that person. You are only seeing a minuscule portion of that person. Because he didn't give his pen. Because he has the only pen with him that time. He is the only one. That's why he could not give you. If you are able to paraphrase and understand his own ecology, then you will not misunderstand. Why a conflict comes between a parent and a child? What is a conflict of interest? Why? Because he doesn't do the things the way you want him to do. This is the conflict with everybody, no? Why you don't like mother-in-law? Why? Disagreement. So people can have different attitudes, different thoughts about the same thing. We can't have the same thought because we are fed up of same thing, no? Sameness we don't like. We want variety in dressing, in food, in relationships, in every aspect of life. But we don't want disagreement with anybody. We want everybody to think the way we think. Why? We are caught up in stereotypical thoughts about the same thing. When we exercise choices in thoughts also, because it is only at thought level you have problems, right? Why a person is stressed out? Too many things going on in thoughts. I have to do this, I have to do that. He doesn't do anything because body can only execute one thing at a time. I have to go there. None of those things he will do. I have seen people say busy but not really busy. Fooling themselves, no. And whenever you are doing something to other, it is you are doing to your own self. Yesterday I just did one small workshop with people. So when you are angry with somebody, you are angry with your own self, because that is affecting you only. What is the feeling of anger? Disagreement with the other person, right? You don't like the way they did anything. So when you have that kind of emotion, your own neurochemicals will shift. Gives rise to those chemicals which are not good for the body. Why do you want to harm your own self? You means me also. Why are we doing that? Anger by intention is different. You use that as a tool because anger is also good. You use it as a tool for efficacy or efficiency, but not to pour acid on the self by creating those negative neurochemicals which harm the body. When you are yelling at someone, you are yelling at your own self. Because 99% of the well-being comes from the self. What you are inside, you are outside. The same thing, it's a mirror. You see a mirror. You see the day, it is your own self. If this day looks bright and happy, it is because I am bright and happy inside. 99%. But what we do, we try to change other things, other contexts, other people, other environment. Sitting in a car, we think Benz car will give us more happiness. No, it is your well-being that props up from your own self. That counts. If you are in a Benz car but you are stressed out, you are not focusing on the music that's going on, you are elsewhere in your thought, no impact of that car on you. Only when you are happy inside you can enjoy that also. And there is one more critical research on human life. 98% of the people spend their 98% of their time on 98% of the things that don't matter. They don't matter. We simply talk, no use. All the worker calls, energy is over. For nothing. And you are not using that energy. You have this quantum of energy. We are spending it on useless things for us. Either in thought, saying, word or in deed. All the three tools that are magnificent tools for manifestation of our reality are being wasted in 98% of the things. So we are actually manipulating and managing with the exterior, which doesn't have any impact on the self. And if it is neutral, it is fine, but it's moreover it's too bad for the body. Sickness is nothing but a mismatch of a thought, word and deed. When a person gets sick, it starts at the thought level, because thought is an energy. It takes away energy or gives away energy. So entertain those thoughts that are helpful, that are positive, that are supporting. And again, these thoughts are controlled by the belief system. What belief you hold. So from there the inferences come. And from there inference we conclude and restrict our movement. Like we enslave ourselves, like we will imprison ourselves. Nobody puts us in prison. We ourselves. Oh, I can't do that, I can't do that, I can't go there, I can't talk to that person, I hate that person. Is the only way. Is the only way I can do. Stressed out, stressed out. That has become a mantra. Too much work to do. Who gave you? Do you ever do what others ask you to do? No. You will only do what you want to do. Ultimately, it is only your own self deciding on to do that thing. No, we cannot force anybody, except in jail. But we say, we can't do. This is the only way. That's not possible. Only this is the thing that I must do, I should do, I have to do. Who said that? Who is enslaving you? Fear, doubt. These are all chains around ourselves. What is the problem? What is the conflict? Only committed to few beliefs that we are holding on to from ages, passed on to generations, and that also will pass it on to our children. People say, they complain about children. They are like this, they are like that. See, he is a chip of your own self. You are only created. No, children are perfect by themselves. Have you seen a child who is imperfect? His self-esteem is very high. He honors his own self. He cries only when needed. He is fulfilled without any greed. Perfect. When I get doubt, I go and see a child. He's simple. He is to the present because you are only existing in this moment called now. You can oscillate between past and future, but you are stuck in this moment called now. That you can see from a child's point of view. Nothing is needed, nothing is wanted. He doesn't work for money but feels very abundant. He doesn't work. No, he's not enslaving himself. Whatever he wants it. Finished. Over. Game is over. He's perfect by design as an angel from the heavens. What we do? We create. No, this job is better. You better study this. He doesn't like to do that. No. We create imperfection, and that imperfection cannot be fulfilled because he is coming from a perfect mode to imperfect mode because of our own beliefs and thoughts, and this cannot be corrected because we are creating all those systems that cannot be perfected because it is, Einstein said the person who created a problem cannot be expected to solve. We create a problem to our own children in ideology, in belief system, in concept formation, in everything else. So let us not do it. Let us not damage their perfection by pushing our agenda into them. Then it's a lot of people say, my child cannot be controlled, he's too playful, he's too this, he's too that. You are doing something wrong with the child. You are asking him to eat when he is not feeling like eating. We are forcing. According to our agenda, he has to conform. He is a jailer, he is an inmate for us. And everywhere, we expect not only children, even others also. Husband also come and eat in that time only. If it doesn't come, we yell at a lot of anger, complaints. With that complaints, all the rest of the stuff pours in, no? When we are angry, this is what happens. Not only the aspect of anger, the other rest of the things that has happened earlier, all the past history, everything comes there. You did like this, you did like da. It pours in because emotion is a lot of energy. If thought is 10 volts, energy in motion is million volts. There is no control. Logical thought is lost. Logical thinking is lost. Rational connectivity is lost. That's why when you are in emotion, don't take a decision, people say. Because it's not in your hands that time. You will bring out all what happened in all the days after marriage, all this will come. And that will precipitate. This thing is lost. This is only for a chocolate, there is a fight. If that is the only thing, it doesn't matter. But everything else comes. No, once the word is out, word is an energy. It can take away life. No, there is a fight, there is a hanging. We will see, no? In papers, there won't be a big deed and big conspiracy behind any kind of suicidal attempt. It is only a word. It could be as silly as refusal to give remote control for a serial. It is like that. No big reasons. No conspiracy. Because emotions, that's why you have to understand, this is a very big, powerful domain of a human being. Use that power to empower, not disempower. If the emotion is positive, it is very empowering. It gives clarity, it gives focus, it gives understanding, it gives love. But if it is mismanaged, we'll be in jail. Only for 5 minutes of emotional burst, they are in jail. All the murders, rapes, everything happened in that 5 minutes only. With the word, fight, hang. Emotions are very, very powerful. And more powerful is at the thought level also sometimes. Because we cannot say in this human cognition, there is no weak signal at all. Everything million volts. Sometimes even thoughts are also that powerful. With one thought you don't get sleep, whole night is gone. Take 3 tablets also it don't go, because it is more powerful than that sedative thought. People get nightmares because most of it is subconscious. What you are aware is only 15%.